In our geometry unit, we are going to be covering volume. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to find the volume of a variety of shapes. So first, let's start with what volume means. It's the number of cubic units that are needed to fill a given space. So this is where we now have the third dimension of height that we take into effect. So first is the volume of a rectangular prism, or as you may remember it as a box. And to find the volume of a rectangular prism, we do length times width times height. So please make sure that you're writing the formulas down, as you'll need them to work on your worksheet. So if we want to find the volume of this rectangular prism, we do length times width times height. So the length of the box is 12 feet. The width of the box is the bottom blue number 4.1, and the height is 6.8. So you're going to multiply that in your calculator, 12 times 4.1 times 6.8, and it's going to give you 334.56. And we need units here, and with volume, because it's cubic, we're doing 3 dimensions here, length, width, and height. We do feet cubed. Remember, perimeter is just the unit, area is the unit squared, and volume is the unit cubed. It's not asking you to round here, so we'll just keep our answer at 334.56 feet cubed. Now the volume of any prism. So to find the volume of any other prism, we're going to take the base, and notice it's a big B here, and we're going to talk about what that means in a minute, times the height. And the big B here is the area of the base. So we have to find the area of the base, and then we have to multiply it by the height. And if you go back to the example with the rectangular prism, notice that the base here is a rectangle, and the area of a rectangle is length times width. So we are taking the area of the base and then multiplying it by the height. And that's exactly what we'll do here. We're going to take the area of the base and multiply it by the height. And here what's important, again, we need to kind of imagine that this is standing up on its end. This is your base. So in this case, it would be the area of a triangle. So let's do that example. We need to find the volume of the triangular prism. So we first need to find the area of the base. To find the area of the base, it's a triangle, so we need to do 1/2 times base times height. And in this case, you're just looking at the triangle. So the area of the triangle would be 1/2 times 5, and then the height of the triangle is 6. So if we do 0.5 times 5 times 6, we get 15 inches squared for the area of the base. So now to find the area, or the volume of the triangular prism, we need to take 15 times the height, which is 11. So 15 times 11 in your calculator, you get 165 inches cubed. So again, we found the area of the base first, and then we multiply that by the height. Now let's look at a trapezoidal prism. Remember that for area of a trapezoid, it is 1/2 times the height times base 1 plus 2. So if you're just, again, looking at the base here, and we have to kind of imagine that this is standing up on its end, but the trapezoid here at the end has 2 bases, the bottom base and the top, so 8 feet for the bottom here, and then the top, if we look back on the back end, is 6 feet across, so we have 8 and 6, and then the height of the trapezoid is 7. So to find the area of the trapezoid, it's 1/2 times the height times the sum of the bases, so 6 plus 8. Now when you multiply that, we add the 6 plus 8 first, you get 14 times 7 times 0.5, and you get 49 feet squared for the area of the trapezoid, the base. So now to find the volume, remember it's the base times the height, where the big base is that 49, so the area of the bottom, and then the height or the length backwards this way, if you imagine it standing up, would be 15 feet. So you do 49 times 15, and that's going to give you 735 feet cubed. Here we have a volume of a cylinder, and the volume of the cylinder is found using the formula pi r squared h, where pi r squared, remember from our formulas, is just the area of the circle, or the base, which is a circle in a cylinder. So again, it's finding the area of the base and then multiplying it times the height. And remember here we're going to use the pi button on our calculators. We are not going to substitute in 3.14. So the volume of the cylinder, we have the base. If we look at the circle, we need to find the area of the circle first. So area of a circle, here we have the radius, so it's pi r squared. So that's going to be pi times 3 squared. In your calculator, you press the pi button, then you multiply it times 9. That's what 3 squared is. It's 3 times 3, and we get 28.2743338 in its area, so it's centimeters squared. And now to find the volume, again, it's the base, which is that big B or pi r squared times the height. Well, pi r squared is that 28.27 number. And it's important that we're not rounding until the very end if we're asked to round. And then the height is 6.1. In your calculator, you should still have that 28.27 number in your calculator, so don't clear that out. Just hit the multiplication symbol and type in 6.1. That gives us 172.4734367, and it would be centimeters cubed. If we were asking you to round here, I would probably say round to the nearest tenth. So you would say 172.5 centimeters cubed. Volume of sphere. Another shape here, we have 4/3 pi r cubed. And again, we'll be using the pi button and not 3.14. So the volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. So we type in what we know, or replace what we know, 4/3 times pi times the radius, which is 9, and it's the radius of that inner circle. If you were to cut that sphere in half, you would have a circle there, shape a transsectional cut, I think they call it, but that's 9 cubed. In your calculator, you can do this several different ways. You can start at the back. 9 to the 3rd power is 9 times 9 times 9. So you could punch that into your calculator. Then you can multiply that times pi. Then you need to multiply that times 4/3. So it's the same as multiplying it by 4, pressing enter, and then dividing by 3. Or if you know how to use parentheses on your calculator, you can type in a 4/3. But you should get 3,053. And we are going to go ahead and round this to the nearest tenth, 0.6, and it's yards cubed. We also have volume of a cone, so it's 1/3 pi r squared h, where h is the height of the cone, r is the radius of the circle that's the base of the cone. So 1/3 pi r squared h. And again, we'll be using the pi button instead of 3.14. So we have 3 squared, and some of you know that to be 9, and then times 7. So in your calculator, again, you can do this a variety of ways. If you know how to use the parentheses, you can put 1/3 in parentheses, times pi, times 9, times 7. And I want you to go ahead and try to calculate that out on your own and see if you can get the same answer I do. If not, try it several different ways until you get this right answer, but it's 65.9 973445573. And this would be centimeters cubed because it's volume again. If I asked you to round to the nearest tenth, the 7 would make that 9 a 0, which would make the 5 then a 6. It would be 66.0 centimeters cubed. And this is kind of an important lesson here, but if your rounding changes the 9 to a 0, you still need to put the 0 back here. When you put this 10th decimal place, you are indicating that your answer is rounded to that place. Even though it is a 0, we still need to put it in our answer. I think this may be the last one, volume of a pyramid. So it's 1/3, big B again. So we're finding the area of the base times the height. 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So first we need to find the area of the base. So the area of the rectangle is length times width, or 3 times 5, 15 centimeters squared. So then the volume is 1/3 times 15, which is the base. Again, 15 area of the base, and times the height, which is 4. So we do 1/3 times 15 times 4, and that gives us 20 centimeters squared. That's the volume of the pyramid. Here we have another pyramid, except this pyramid has a triangular base. So in order to find the area of the base first, it's the area of the triangle there at the bottom, and that's 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times the base of 6, and the height of that base triangle, you're just looking at that bottom piece down here, is 4. So that should be 12 squared per area. Now to find the volume of that triangular pyramid, it's 1/3 the base area of the base, which was 12, times the height. So 1/3 times 12 times 9, that's 36 feet cubed. So we looked at rectangular prisms, general prisms, cylinders, spheres, cones, and pyramids. Again, make sure you have both of those formulas written in your notes so you can refer to them while working on the homework. And in class, we'll do the volume worksheet.